Hey, it's me, your boy Blue Gatsinga, and today I'll be going over Dragmas from Rise of the Duelist. Again, I'm aware, very late, but let's get started. First, we have Dragma Saint. One is a level 4 light spellcaster monster, and this deck is comprised of light spellcasters. So, Secret Village is going to be played in this deck, and I wish Konami would ban that card. It sucks, and it's degenerate. Anyways, this is basically the chosen one in this. Yeah, this is like the main card of the deck essentially, and this is also the main part of the lore as well. If a monster that was special summoned from the extra decks on the field, which almost all of them have, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Dragma card from your deck to your hand, except a copy of itself. Also, you cannot special summon monster from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, which is a very good restriction to have on this archetype, otherwise it would be absolutely broken. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Also an effect that I really like in this archetype. Next we have Dragma Iron Hammer. Another light spellcaster, 1800 attack, 1500 defense. Same first effect like the previous one. Oh, wait. Yeah, same first effect. I thought it had the restriction. Anyways, cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster or special summon from the extra deck. Same effect as the previous one. Its unique effect is you can target one face-up monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, which you better hope that your opponent's playing a lot of extra deck monsters. Anyways, you can target one monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Until the end of this turn, this card gains 600 attack, and if it does, then target loses 600 attack. Meaning this card can potentially crash with monsters with 3000 attack. It kind of reminds me of Predaplant Reflation in that sense. Anyways, this is basically the beater of the deck, and assuming we get more cards, people probably wouldn't run this at all or would run it at 1. I mean, it is a free special summon, so I guess people might run it at 2. Next we have Aiden the Dragma Circle. Yeah, next we have Aiden the Dragma Circle. If a monster knows special, same effect. Same second effect. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Dragma monster from your deck except Aiden the Dragma Oracle. So you can, if this is destroyed, you can go directly into this and get a search. And here's where the effects get, or at least where the effects are different from the previous ones. During the main phase, if a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you control another Dragma monster, you can negate the effects of one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn, which is really good. And it's a good monster. It has 2500 attack and 2500 defense. So you're basically summoning a big beat stick for almost free. Actually, it is essentially free, and you get to negate an effect. When your Dragma monster declares an attack, you can make all Dragma monsters you control gain 500 attack. And that boost is permanent, meaning that this thing can just become 3000 attack just off of one attack. Not to mention if you have this and Theo on the field, you can potentially beat over almost any monster your opponent controls. Next we have Maximus Dragma. You can banish one fusion, synchro, exceeds link monster from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can activate this card. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, which is fine. because you generally don't do that. Also send 2 monsters with different names from your action deck to the graveyard. You can only imagine the kind of shenanigans you can actually do with that. Also, your opponent sends 2 monsters from their action deck to the graveyard as well, which is an instant setup for this card. Next, we have Tetradragmaton. Tetradragmaton, the Heart of Dogma. I mean, technically it's a Dragma card because it has Dragma in its name, technically. You can target one level... Wow, okay, reading. You can target one... Damn it. You can target 4 monsters, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, and either graveyard special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, banish those targets. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summoned monster, destroy as many opponents' attack position monsters as possible. That was a weird way to phrase that. Then inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each Fusion, Synchro, Link, or Xyz monster destroyed by this effect. That's fine. Next we have Dogmatic Nation Dragma. Neither player can target Dragma monsters you control with the effects of monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. That's cool. I kind of wish it made it not just monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck, but all monster effects. But it is what it is. If your Dragma monster battles an opponent's monster after damage calculation, you can destroy that opponent's monsters, basically turning all your Dragmas into catasters. And if this face-up card in the field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can make both players send 1 card from their action deck to the graveyard. Punishing your opponent for getting rid of this thing. Next we have Disciple of Nadir. You can send 1 monster from your action deck to the graveyard and add 1 Dragma monster or 1 Albus the Nullius Filius from your deck or graveyard to your hand with attack less than or equal to the sent monsters. For the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck. I think that 1 Elder entity might actually get banned or limited because of this archetype. Well, we'll see. We have Dragma Punishment. It's a trap. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard with an equal or higher attack, and if you do, destroy the targeted monster. So you could potentially pound 2 monsters using the Elder entity. Nethys. I forgot what her name was. I just know it begins with an N. Dragma Enforcer. Activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Dragma monster or 1 Albus the Nelius Fallus from your hand. That's alright, I guess. Take 1 Dragma monster or 1 Albus the Nelius Fallus or Phyllis from your graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it. This one clearly being the better effect of the 2. And then we have Albus the Nelius Filius. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can discard 1 card, fusion summon 1 monster from your action deck using cards on either player's field as fusion material. So it's almost like Super Poly, but not as stupid or annoying. And then we have the boss monster, whose name I probably shouldn't say. Something the Ashen Dragon. It's a level 8 dark fusion monster. 2500 attack, 2000 defense, has protagonist stats, and wasted material are Albus and Nelius Fallus, of course, and 1 monster with 2500 attack or more. So that also limits what your monster can fusion summon with. Granted, this doesn't specify what kind of fusion monster you have to special summon, so if you want, you can just splash this in other decks and just fusion summon using your opponent's monsters. Because that's what the game needs. But at least this is a lot more fair than Super Poly. Anyways, this card gains attack equal to the original levels of the monsters used as material for this card's fusion summon times 100. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of its turn, it's unaffected by activated effects from any other monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can take one Dragma monster or one Albus the Nullius Phyllis from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. And that's a fairly good effect, because you can summon any Dragma monster. Any, including the high level ones except for, the one with 3,200 attack. All in all, I think this archetype is good. Do I think it'll be broken? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, people thought the same things of World Chalice. Wait, was it World Chalice? Yeah, I think that was the name of the archetype, World Chalice. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think about this archetype. And this is me, your boy Blue Getsuga, and I'm gone.